Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to COD Zombies HQ. We are only a few weeks away from the official reveal of the next main series Call of Duty title, which is likely to be called Call of Duty Vanguard. However, it's likely we won't be seeing any kind of official information or reveal of Vanguard Zombies for still a few months. So instead, we have to rely on a bunch of leaked information about the mode itself that covers everything from gameplay mechanics to perks to map locations, storyline, and more, all of which we'll be going over in this video today. So we'll start at the general, then work our way down into specifics, beginning by talking about the overall expected gameplay of Vanguard Zombies. Of course, the game is being lead developed by Sledgehammer Games, those that made COD WW2 Zombies back in 2017, which was a valiant attempt at the mode. Now, a lot has changed at Sledgehammer since the release of that Zombies mode, with the Sledgehammer Games studio itself essentially being totally refreshed. A lot of people that made that game are no longer working on the new one. Guys like Michael Condrey and Glenn Schofield, who were the studio leads at Sledgehammer at the time, are no longer with the studio. Same with specifically the Zombies side, guys like Cameron Dayton, who led Zombies development for that game, are no longer with Sledgehammer as well. With an entirely fresh staff working on the game, we can likely expect a very different product to COD WW2 Zombies. With the first leak associated with the core gameplay of itself, it's been reported that Vanguard will be running on the same engine that powered Call of Duty 2019 Modern Warfare. This means that we can expect a few major differences compared to Treyarch's Cold War engine. First of which is that you can expect that the graphics of the game will receive a major upgrade compared to what we've seen in Black Ops Cold War, with pretty much everybody agreeing that besides from the kind of bland color palette of Modern Warfare, it had the better looking textures, the better lighting, it was overall a better looking game, and that was largely in part due to the advancements made within the new engine for Call of Duty that was debuted in that game. And while some might say that graphics don't really matter, I think a lot of the community kind of believes that the last really good looking Call of Duty Zombies game we had was all the way back in 2015 and throughout its DLC season in Black Ops 3, where those are still some amazing looking maps based solely on their graphics compared to iterations of Zombies that we've had since. The next major difference in gameplay that we can expect to be included as a result of the change in engine compared to Cold War is in the form of slower, slightly more sluggish movement than compared with the fast-paced movement of Cold War Zombies. There is some debate amongst leakers that Sledgehammer might be trying to go for a more fast-paced approach to player movement in their engine compared to what it was in Modern Warfare, which might mean in terms of Zombies that the movement might be fairly similar to what we've already seen in this game. Next, I think that for better or for worse, Cold War has established a maxim of what we can expect in certain areas of the Zombies mode in the future. The first of those areas has to do with the location of the maps themselves, which the DLC seasons here in Cold War Zombies have shown us that locations of Zombies maps will be heavily inspired and use large chunks of assets from the base campaign of the game itself. We've seen that here in Cold War Zombies with both Firebase C and Mauer der Toten being largely entirely based off of environments and locations that were featured in the campaign. Now, the reason for this is likely to save time in development of these Zombies maps, especially now that Activision has decided to make the release of these maps free for everybody. I would imagine that it's a lot harder for the Zombies developers to sell creating an entirely new location for each map, which takes a lot more time and effort than simply reusing large chunks of locations that can already be found in other areas of the game. And unless Vanguard Zombies reverts to some kind of paid seasons pass model for DLC in that game, it's likely we'll see the low-cost method of reusing campaign assets continue in Vanguard Zombies. We can actually get a decent idea of where likely map locations within Vanguard Zombies will be. The first one comes from noted leaker the MW2 Ghost over on Twitter, who said that he saw some footage of COD 2021 Vanguard, in which he saw some expected time period weapons, as the game will be set during WW2, which, by the way, I have to say it like that and not its full name because YouTube be crazy, but he continues saying the map that they were playing on looked as if it was set in an African palace. My guess would be that because of this information, kind of some of the stuff that's been coming out in terms of the general idea of Vanguard is it's likely to be very different from Sledgehammer's 2017 COD attempt, and I think we're going to be focusing on two separate theaters of conflict from the time period. The first, which is probably where the map where the MW2 Ghost saw this footage, is likely set during the North Africa campaign, with the second major theater that the game's likely to focus on being the Pacific, and we know that because of a recent leak from Tom Henderson, who says that it's likely that there will be an entirely new Warzone map released alongside Vanguard that will feature a Pacific island, likely a scaled down version of Okinawa, because it'll be set in an alternate history where the battleship Yamato managed to beach itself on the island and act as a static fortress, which didn't happen in our timeline, but it's likely Sledgehammer's taking some creative liberty with this game. So because of those two main theaters of conflict, I would say it's highly likely that we're going to see zombies maps released in this game that will be set using assets from the campaign in either North Africa or in the Pacific. Lastly, on the point of gameplay, we can of course expect there to be main Easter eggs that will be releasing as part of these new zombies maps. I think that the maxim from Cold War Zombies will continue here as well, and it's very likely that we'll be seeing some kind of easier, easy to find, easy to complete main Easter eggs just like we saw in Cold War Zombies. Or if they want to even go beyond that, they could bring back a pretty well-liked feature they introduced back in 2017 Zombies, that being the feature of a casual Easter egg, wherein the steps are located on the screen for you and you can kind of search for the Easter egg yourself. Makes the Easter egg a lot more accessible, and then for the more experienced Zombies players, they'd have a hardcore Easter egg which has steps that are a lot more difficult to find and complete, resulting in what's kind of the best of both worlds for Easter eggs in Zombies. Sledgehammer pioneered this version of Easter egg, but it only made an appearance in one map, the launch map back in COD WW2. From then on, the rest of the DLC only focused on hardcore Easter eggs where no casual Easter egg was to be found. Next up, we have the topic of perks within the Zombies mode itself, and this is kind of exciting, where prominent leaker Call of Duty Hope, who actually had his main Twitter account actually removed from Twitter for some insane music DMCA issues. I'll leave a link to his new account in the description if you want to follow him, but he said that it's likely that all of Black Ops Cold War's perks will be in Vanguard Zombies. Now, we don't know if this will be just the base original perks that were in the game at launch, or if it'll also include the DLC perks of Tombstone, Mule Kick, and eventually PhD Flopper and Double Tap. Furthermore, we don't 100% know in what form those perks will be returning, if they'll just kind of be in their base regular stock configurations, or if you'll have the ability to upgrade them using Ethereum crystals to drastically improve their effects like we can here in Cold War Zombies. My guess will be that the upgrade system using something similar to Ethereum crystals will exist within their game, simply because the overarching story, it's likely that this new Zombies game will be set within the same universe that Cold War Zombies takes place in, that being the Dark Aether universe. We know this for a few reasons. The first is based on past trends. Both Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Cold War are set in the same universe, despite their different developers and differences in time. It seems like Call of Duty, in terms of their main series games at least, are really trying to make a connected universe that exists throughout their new titles, and I think that will continue within Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies. The second reason is that a prominent leaker, Tom Henderson, has stated that developers from Treyarch are helping Sledgehammer work on their Zombies mode, but likely not like in a really hands-on capacity, but more so focusing on the overarching story and to make sure that it kind of fits in with the story they've built in Black Ops Cold War. Where I personally guess this story would go is that where in Cold War we're really focused on certain areas in Europe as well as a bunch of German research projects, because of the locations featuring in the Pacific within Call of Duty Vanguard, I think it's likely we'll see some kind of Division 9 equivalent from the original Aether story here in Call of Duty Vanguard, where in Cold War we get to experience the Germans' experiments with zombies during the time, Where in Vanguard, we're likely to experience the Japanese experiments with the same thing, similar to the division of efforts like Group 935 back in the original Aether storyline on maps like the Giant, compared with the efforts of their Japanese equivalent Division 9 on maps like Zetsubo no Shima. Overall, I'd say that my personal outlook from everything we've heard about Vanguard Zombies so far is pretty positive. I'm glad that Treyarch and its recognizable features like perks and characters and storyline information will be continuing, at least in some form, in Vanguard. And the locations of possible Zombies maps set in North Africa or the Pacific is really cool, as those are kind of unrepresented locations within the plethora of Zombies maps that have released over the past decade. Like I said at the start of the video, likely the official reveal of the general theme and likely campaign information about Vanguard will be released through an in-game Warzone event a few weeks from now, and just like normal, it's likely we'll hear about multiplayer details after that, and then sometime very close to launch, we'll actually get a reveal of the Zombies mode. They always save the best for last, am I right? So we still probably have quite a bit to wait until we get official information, but until that time comes, we'll continue to rely on any kind of new leaked information that releases. But that wraps up this video, guys. It was a doozy. I want to thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you did enjoy it, consider leaving a thumbs up on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already for more exciting Zombies news to come very soon. But I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies news video tomorrow. Peace.